It's 10:30. It's time for Stories of the Week. My guest today, we've got the main man himself. He's back after a fortnight off. His name is Shahbaz Ahmed. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How's it going?
Absolutely fantastic, alhamdulillah.
Fantastic to be back on the airwaves, entertaining the masses at large.
And we've got a new presenter again.
He's
come back for more punishment, eh?
I think so, yeah, and I think I saw the crowd of fans outside the studio today. It must have been only meant one thing. Manova Hussein's in the house.
Manny the man, he is in house. Good morning.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. How are you all?
We're excellent. We just can't wait for Sunday mornings, really, can't we? It just brings the best out of us.
Brings out the liveliness, doesn't it?
It does, indeed. And obviously we've got some great stories from around the world. We've got 60 seconds around the world as well, yeah?
80 seconds.
Is it 80 seconds?
Yeah, come on, you just took 20 seconds off me. Is that because Manny?
You know why? Because, yeah, exactly. We need to give the main man more airtime, so we've had to reduce yours to 60 seconds.
Okay.
Also got this day in history. We've got a competition as well. Shall we launch a competition straight away?
Yeah, go for it. What is the competition? Firstly, is there a prize or is it just bragging rights? Or what?
No, there is a prize. You wasn't here last week.
Okay.
Sister Naseem has donated 2 prayer mats with tasbees.
Right, okay.
And they do look absolutely beautiful.
Mashallah.
One for a male and one for a female. So,
I thought she was going to donate that hamper that she won back to us now.
have you seen the photographs on Facebook?
No, I haven't.
Fantastic.
Really?
You know, she came with her husband, picked up this very large hamper.
Mashallah.
And obviously, she's enjoying the benefits from that as now.
Absolutely. So how's the last couple of weeks been? I know I've not been here.
They've been on and off. We all had a week off.
Right.
You know, Ari's hasn't been in a few weeks, and he's not here again today. But there's a story behind that. His school obviously has started back.
Yeah.
He's got football practice this morning, so he's playing a football match, and he says he might ring in after if he's got enough time.
Nice.
So Ari's will jump in and out whenever possible. We've got spaces for 4 seats, so he'll join us when he can.
Inshallah.
We look forward to it, RS.
So shall we start?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's kick off.
The competition.
Yes, so the competition today, we are encouraging everybody to please ring in. If you can give those numbers out, Khalid, to our listeners. 01902 972 150 and the WhatsApp number
07 440 420 432. And the question is, name us 3 angels from the Quran. 3 angels from the Quran. Do you know?
Semi-difficult, isn't it? That
you know what? I think loads of people are going to enter today. I've got a good feeling about this.
Shall we give them one away, or
no? It's too early. Too early.
Okay,
Come on.
He's a tough presenter.
You know what? He wants to give prizes away.
Yeah.
You know what prizes mean, don't you, Cal?
Prizes means
No, points.
Points mean prizes.
That's it. Just
Let's go backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start off. First story of the week. Staff working from home do nearly an extra hour a day work, as research shows they send more emails and attend more meetings than when they were in the office. So this would obviously relate to Shahbaz, because I know he's working from home. People are spending an extra 49 minutes of their day at their desks at home. More emails are being sent and more meetings attended by employees. 90% say they want to keep working from home. 70% say it's more productive. It comes as Downing Street is urging Britain to get back to work. What do you think?
Yeah and no. I do love working from home. I think it's given me more time with the family. You don't have to commute half an hour each way to work, saving on petrol. But you can't beat the value of seeing your colleagues face to face. Tapping someone on the shoulder and asking that pointed question. So I think for my workplace, they'll probably let us in the office 2 days a week and 3 days from home, which I think could be a real good balance for myself. How about you, Manny? How are you finding working from home?
I think it's a balancing act between the family and work, and doing everything around that. So I think it's still productive. It's very, very productive. I think if you can use all the tech you've got at our disposal, then it completely works. I think it's just a constant balancing. So I'm for it, and I think going forward there'll be a lot more blended working.
Do you think companies should subsidise staff members for like electricity and and all that type of thing, because we are having to use more electricity being at home now, drinking your own coffee, for instance.
Perhaps, but then the flip side of the argument is, you're saving on travel costs, or company, could state that. So I think it's, I think it's debatable.
I think you're definitely saving on money, especially like Shabazz. He gets up in the morning and he likes his coffee, so he goes to Starbucks first,
Yes, of
or
course.
Costa, and then he goes to work. So he's probably saving himself £5 each day just on your coffee.
That's probably right. Yeah, I mean, I am still drinking way too much coffee at home as well.
You're still
but
making your own coffee as well.
I am making my own coffee. Yeah, my YouTube review is up to nearly 100,000 views now.
Fantastic.
So,
You've kept that quiet,
I'm gonna,
Shabazz.
plug it on radio. Real reviews, guys. YouTube, check it out.
No
Talk
problem.
about reviews. Manny, have you seen my Umrah vlog?
I have not seen your Umrah vlog, Cal.
Honestly. Oh my gosh. So, Manny, I went to Umrah in February, just before it locked down.
Alhamdulillah.
And I vlogged it from start to finish. 8 brothers went, and some were new reverts. So we've documented it, everything from start to finish, how they felt, how they're feeling, what's happening, all the ziyarta, all the umrah.
The experiences,
The
the
experience.
feelings, the emotions.
So today, this week, we hit 300 viewers.
Mashallah,
You know,
mashallah.
for a nobody like me,
Well,
300 views is...
really good.
So now Manny's on board, and
Well done, Cal.
he's going to put it on his social media. I might get
600
double.
next week, yeah.
Exactly. So, Manny, when you go home, if you got 2 hours spare,
Cal, don't worry if I've got hours spare or not. That'll be the first task I do. Despite what the missus says to me, that'll be the first thing.
it's Umrah 2020, Journey to the Centre of the World.
Would you mind just typing that to me?
I
on the
will.
WhatsApp
I'll
separately?
send you the link. How
Thank you.
even better,
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
And
But
then if
on a serious note, I think that's a great form of dawah and learning for the people. So well done on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we went with a professional Hafiz,
Yes,
Uh,
Hafiz Fiaz.
Hafiz Fiaz, and
Oh yes. Hafiz
he
Fiaz.
broke down everything, simplified it for us. It was a great experience.
How many times had Fiaz been beforehand?
I think he's been a few times before, but he only recently went 3-4 weeks before he flew out with us again, so he was fresh in
Okay.
his head. So he couldn't, he said the opportunity was too good for him not to go. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we'll talk about on that next week if we get more than 300 views.
On that note, I just wanted to give a shout out, and it does link to a story of the week. And I know people don't want their names named.
Name them.
A team from Bradford filled up a large container, 40-foot container, in a few days, and it'll be going to Yemen, where a child dies every 10 minutes. With the help of some amazing humans from Birmingham too, they managed to raise a staggering £5,000
Mashallah.
in 4 days, and hundreds of baby items and medication. And the Nawaz family was fundamental to that, and a number of people in Birmingham as well. I know people didn't want names mentioned, but I think that deserves a huge shout out, and
Definitely.
well done to that
Alhamdulillah.
team.
I got to rate these people. Who take time out of their day and aim to fill these containers up to send to places
Absolutely,
like Yemen. I mean,
absolutely. And I know, I'm not sure what it's like in Wolverhampton, but there are a number of individuals, and like I said, they're not in it for the fame or the name, and they do this on a weekly, daily basis. So big well done.
And
to all.
I think that's something that we should all be encouraged to do as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People say, "Oh, we haven't got the time." Make time,
Yeah.
because this is
Absolutely.
what's going to go forward in life,
Yeah.
in the afterlife for ourselves.
100%.
Absolutely.
So
So
you
yeah.
said they filled up a whole container. Do you know how big a container is? It's a huge.
Well, it's a 40-foot container.
Wow.
40-foot.
Amazing.
Inshallah, that this container gets to the people of Yemen in one piece. Inshallah, they all get their due rewards. And bless these people. Great. people.
Inshallah.
Ameen.
Inshallah.
Ameen. Second story that I'd like to share with you today. Make your holiday work for you. How picking your dates wisely could see you get 40 days off next year using just 18 days of annual leave.
Go on.
Do you want that?
Go on.
Do you like it?
Go on then.
You know what? I already used it this year in April, but I'm going to share this. So people go to work, obviously got an employer, and they want to take annual leave. These are the dates that you need to book off now. So anyone working in my place, you can't do it before I do it, okay? So Monday to Fridays, workers can make most of their holidays using just 18 days annual leave. Can get break of 10 days by booking dates between Christmas and New Year off. August of next year could hold a 9-day break for just 3 days of annual leave. So
How's
if you
that then?
book April the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th off, you get a 10-day stretch. So you got your Saturdays and Sundays,
Right,
you got your
okay.
bank holidays, you got your Good Friday.
Yeah.
So just using 4 days there, you're getting a 10-day stretch. If you go for the May bank holidays, you get a 9-day break by getting 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th off. So by using 4 days again, you're getting a 9-day break. And if you book in August and September, if you take just 3 days off, you get a 9-day break again. So September 31st, 31st of August, September the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, you're getting a 9-day stretch.
Right.
And lastly, if you like Christmas off, I like giving it to the Gori myself, you know, because
too.
I say I'll go to work and you have Christmas off. As long as I get my Eid off, it works that way. But if you take December 29th, 30th and 31st off, you get a 10-day break next year.
Fantastic. That's like gold dust information, Carl.
You know what? That's
mean,
what we're here
on,
for.
on that note, though, how do people deal with Eid days off? I mean, what's your general approach on that? Because of the
It's a nightmare for myself because I say to them, I don't know if it's going to be Eid on this day or it's going to be Eid on that day. And then I'm struggling to explain to them, hang on, you know, because of the lunar calendar, the dates change, the moon doesn't come out sometimes, it can't be seen.
Yeah.
So it's just a pure nightmare to tell my boss I need Eid off.
Yeah. So I tend to mainly book the days off. If I don't need them, I'll come in. So probably do it that way.
Yeah.
But there's different approaches.
That's probably the most sensible way to do it. To be honest, I'm the same. To be fair, I can't thank my company enough. They're very, very chilled out. They just say, let me know the day before, and I can normally have it off.
That's
But-
because of all the value you add, Shabazz. That's why they do that.
Yes, of course. It is embarrassing though, isn't it? Not knowing when
of
Eid
course.
is, but as long as you can articulate it well.
Yeah, I think the articulation and the explanation of it is key.
Absolutely, and we're not really good at doing that at times, are we? I got a really good story coming out. You know, we've got obviously a lot of job losses and companies having to shut because of coronavirus. The co-op, which started in Rochdale, for all of those who don't know, the cooperative to create 1,000 jobs and open 50 new stores, which I think is welcoming news in the current climate. So the grocery chain co-op is opening 50 new stores and creating 1,000 new jobs this year. The new roles come on the top of 1,000 posts added during lockdown as demand for shoppers have increased. The extra jobs announced today will spread across the new shops and 15 stores that are being enlarged. The co-op said that research had found that 70% of adults had relied on their local convenience stores and food and other goods in recent months. The co-op currently employs 55,000 workers across the UK and has 2,600 stores. The new stores will open in areas such as Wrexham, London, Poole, Leeds and Guildford. So, the co-op going from strength to strength.
Absolutely.
Good news.
Very
though.
good news, yeah.
Excellent.
Much needed.
Exam fiasco. Next year, Gavin Williamson says GCSEs and A-level exams could be delayed to give pupils more time to study after COVID layoff. Your thoughts on that?
I think that would be fair because I know a number of school children who've returned this week, and with the restrictions in place in terms of social distancing, the way they have to organize classes, they have to do subject lessons that they would have covered throughout the week in 4 hours within one day. So it's really difficult, very, very difficult for those children. So I think there need to be some concessions made for those things that they're going through. Without doing that, I think you're adversely putting those children at risk, and you're not treating them fairly. So I think it's a good idea. It's just how's that managed with respect to the other academic calendars and how that's organised.
What I don't understand is this year they've had more than ample time to study through lockdown. So what excuse are they actually using?
I think the key thing is around that face-to-face time with the teachers, and the other thing is, Carl and Shabazz, do remember, a number of children are blessed to have technology at home. There's a number of children who aren't from underprivileged backgrounds, so it has to be a fair playing ground. So I think that's taken into account as well.
Talk about technology. We have a telephone call coming in. Good morning.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Well,
Assalamu
I
alaikum.
recognize this voice.
You do.
I do.
Assalamu alaikum.
Who's speaking and where are you speaking from?
Right. So basically, my name is Nasir Akram, and I'm actually calling from Manchester. I'm actually a
Mashallah.
very good friend of Manny's, and I
Welcome on
was
board, Nasser.
listening.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much, guys.
Nice to
So I
speak
was
to you.
listening into your topical program, and I just thought if you could spare a few minutes, I could join in your conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're stretching far as wide as Manchester. I'm loving that. I know we have Sutherf who always listens to us from Manchester. So hi, Sutherf, if you're listening. Nasser, go for it. How are you today?
Really good, thanks. So basically, I just finished a bit of an Urdu class with the kids. We've got kids that are age between 8, 5, and 7 months old. And
Mashallah.
Yeah, I
once
think
a week, their
that's so
grandparents,
fantastic. Yeah. You know,
yeah, yeah, sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you better now.
yeah, what I was going to say was it shows, you sound like a young person and taking your time out to educate your children on a Sunday morning. Mashallah, that's absolutely fantastic.
Mashallah.
Well, if I'm honest, brother, it's like actually their grandparents in Sheffield who are actually taking the time to give them the Urdu lesson on Zoom. So basically, my dad's actually an Urdu teacher in
Right.
Sheffield. He's actually still teaching at the age of 70. And
Mashallah.
basically, since COVID took place, we've been a bit conscious of going over to Sheffield because of their age and underlying health issues.
Yeah.
So my father actually started using Zoom just at the outset of COVID, just so he could keep that interaction with the grandchildren. And basically, over the last like 2, 3 months now, they do a lesson every week. And yeah, so it's all thanks to our parents, really.
Fantastic. And how are you finding the show so far, Nasser?
The show's been really good. I mean, I must admit, I was trying to keep an eye on the kids, and their lesson finished at 10:30. So I was keeping an eye on them as well as listening to your session.
Are you trying
And
to say,
I
Nasser, were you distracted by the? You just couldn't keep away from the show, so you put the books down and just listen to the show. Is that what you're meaning to say?
absolutely. I mean, I know with yourself, Manny, very measured in the topics you discuss. You choose
Measured.
your words carefully, you know. So for me, it's an honor just to get the opportunity to speak to you and
Alhamdulillah. No,
your
no, no.
colleague. And
The
just
honors
see,
all ours, I'm sure. The honors all ours, Nasser, and appreciate you taking the
yeah,
time out.
Jazakallah, Nasser.
yeah. No, Jazakallah. So basically, there were, I mean, Manny texted me a few days ago and just mentioned that the topic of conversation for your show is almost looking at two, 3 items that have occurred during the last week and seeing if we could have a conversation on them. And there were two areas that I looked at, and I just wondered if they would be good topics just to discuss for your listeners, because I think, in the UK we've got a substantial Pakistani diaspora. They still have very good links with their homeland, and there were a few positive bits of news that I came across last week that I thought I may share with you and see if we could take it from there.
Please do.
Yeah, so basically there's two articles that I read this week. One was about the Pakistan Stock Exchange actually achieving the #1 slot in terms of Asian stock market.
Wow.
Fantastic.
And also it's the fourth best performing stock market in the world at the moment. So I know our listeners are always keen on seeing Pakistan and positive messages coming from there. So I actually delved into this a bit deeper just to be able to take away some of the complexity and, make it digestible for your listeners. And from my perspective, this shows us that Imran Khan's government is actually taking a good handle of the country, reducing the debt of the country and making it an attractive place for investment.
Inshallah.
And
Inshallah.
coupled with that, and I mean, I actually looked at last year's Bloomberg report, and that said Pakistan was one of the worst performing
So he shows a
stock
complete
markets in
complete
the world.
turnaround, doesn't it, Nasser? It's a complete
So
turnaround.
Imran Khan's actually turning things over, and my concern was the corruptness in Pakistan. Has that stopped?
I think the corruption's still prevalent, but I think the point being made is the fact that the economic situation in terms of some of the infrastructure and systems you've got in place are taking an effect, and Imran Khan's been a massive part of that.
He's done really well, Imran Khan. Nasser,
Absolutely.
that was a
So,
good story.
you
that
know,
is.
your question around the corruption is a really good one. I mean, I think corruption, because it's almost like a cancer, it's been decaying the country for the last 60, 70 years.
Exactly.
And Imran Khan is almost a surgeon who's coming in to remove that cancer. It's going to take a long time.
Great analogy.
But, yeah, he's almost come to he's almost tackling the main areas at the moment, and already he's identified some quick wins which are making Pakistan's public image in the world completely different to what it was 2 years ago. So people, I mean, I was talking to Manny a few weeks ago, and I was saying, with regards to COVID, could anyone have imagined that Pakistan is being singled out as one of the countries that has got best practice in managing COVID?
That
So
came as a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the World Health Organization, they've commissioned different scientific reports now, which are actually trying to understand what Pakistan's done that other developed countries haven't been able to do.
Yes, and gleaning best practice from that. So some great shares there, Nasser. Really appreciate you taking the time out to do that, and have a fantastic rest of the day. And please do keep listening.
Nasser, thank you for your call.
Yeah,
That was some
absolutely.
very valid points there, and appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much, Nasser. Before you go, do you want to say hello to anybody?
Yeah, I just want to say hello to all your listeners in Wolverhampton, Birmingham. I've got a lot of good friends over there, and from all of us in Manchester, big salam alaikum, enjoy your weekend. You guys are doing a fantastic job giving up your time to better other people's lives as well, and I know that the
I appreciate that, Nasser.
community
Keep us
in
in the doors.
Birmingham is going to benefit from your information in your show.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nasser.
What a gentleman.
What a
Absolutely
gentleman, yeah,
fantastic.
very softly spoken.
Very intellect as well.
So Nasser is one of my best friends, if not the best friend. So he's very close to me. So keep him in your
Well
doors.
done.
And,
We
hopefully
actually
to
studied
contribute on
together
more
at
shows going forward as well.
university.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Nasser.
Salam, brother Kal, Shabazz and Manawar.
Assalam.
Hope you're all well, inshallah, and a brilliant show as always. Thank you for sharing the holiday trick. Not many people know that, but that's why we listen to Stories of the Week. That's from Fiaz Ahmed.
Thank you, Fiaz. And hopefully looking forward to hearing Fiaz back on the radio at some point soon.
Inshallah, Fiaz, Hafiz Fiaz, he's taking a bit of a break.
Maybe he could come on this show and,
You know what?
help some stories of the week.
That is a good idea, isn't it?
I've not heard from Hafiz Fiaz for a while. So Hafiz Fiaz, why don't you call in and I can hear those dulcet tones of yours as well?
Oh, he's too good, He's really good. We've got a few minutes before the break. This Eat Out to Help Out scheme smashes 18 million meal barrier at a cost of £400 million cost to the taxpayer after diners endured 3 hours queues for the last chance to enjoy Rishi Sunak's discount. So you guys went for this?
I think we'll let Shabazz comment on this. I think you had an experience early in the week.
Yes, I did have an experience. I went out to eat on Monday, not to take advantage of this 50% off, just to go and get some food with a friend of mine. And it was absolute carnage. I've not seen anything like it in Birmingham. Honestly, it was cars parked on the pavements, the roads are just jam-packed. I'm thinking, it is a good deal, but when you go out to eat with your family, you want a certain level of ambience and a bit of relaxing atmosphere. I just thought it was carnage.
There's some hungry people in Birmingham.
It's just hustle and bustle, isn't it? It's quickly to get you in and quickly to get you out.
Let me. What did it remind? I've got an analogy of what it reminded me of when I went a couple of weeks ago. What did it remind you of that kind of crowd and what have you?
It almost
The sales.
No,
That's a good one. Sales.
honestly, it reminded me of. I don't want to say the word because I don't want to disrespect anybody, but the word janver comes to mind. But that's said with no disrespect to any uncles or aunties who might have been there. I'm not. It's just the
pushing and shoving and the jumping queues.
There has to be a level of etiquette, doesn't there? What it reminded me of, I think, when I went out a few weeks ago is, do you remember the old Pakistan airport when you used to go inside and it was like, it was just chaos and and you knew even the officials do not have a clue what's going on. They are clueless. So in a lot of these schemes, it is similar, but I think we're going towards a break. So yeah, good share, guys.
That is a very good story. Pakistan airport. That's a story for another time. Once again, our competition is open. We need to know 3 angels from the Quran. If you can name them, give us a call or text us. The number is on Facebook Live. You could see it as you're looking at us today. See you in about 4 minutes' time. Welcome back to the second part of Stories of the Week. It's exactly 11 o'clock. It's time for Shabazzi's Around the World in around about
Well,
80 seconds or so.
You took 20 seconds off me already. You want to take any more seconds off me? Or?
Well, let's time him. Go on.
No. Okay, so a quick whistle-stop tour around the world. We normally do this segment once a week where we try and fit in as many countries as we can. I think I've got about 5 today, so I'll whistle through them. Starting off in the motherland, Pakistan. So on the back of NASA's great call around the improvements happening in Pakistan, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, also known as PTI, official Twitter account on Tuesday announced that Bill Gates' interest to invest in the IT sector, which he had reportedly communicated in a letter written to Prime Minister Imran Khan. So according to the tweet, the letter also stated that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is interested in investing in the health sector of Pakistan also. Bill Gates' letter to the Prime Minister was delivered by Dr. Christopher Elias, President of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who, alongside the Director General of the WHO, the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, met with the Prime Minister in Islamabad. So some good news coming out of Islamabad. Hopefully some investment from the Gates family.
Fantastic.
Moving east into India. I was going to say west. East into India. India plans to establish its very own small space station in the next decade as a country gears up for the first manned mission beyond Earth. So Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, Chief K. Sivan said on Thursday that the ambitious project would follow a successful launch of a manned space flight scheduled by 2022. Our space station is going to be very small, useful to carry out experiments, Sylvan told reporters in New Delhi. India's first manned mission to space, named Gaganyaan, is due to take place in 2022, in time to commemorate the 75 years of the country's independence from Britain. It will have 2 or 3 astronauts on a maximum 7-day mission. So what are your thoughts on that, India?
I think it's really good, especially like a third world country. But India really isn't a third world country at the moment, is it? It's striving to success like this.
How do you think all the people in the slums in Mumbai would feel about India spending all this money on trying to go to space when people can barely feed themselves in the country?
I don't think they would be happy.
I don't think they'd be happy either. Moving swiftly on from that, moving into Sweden. So Sweden's coronavirus case rate was this week lower than those of neighbours Denmark and Norway for the first time since March. The news follows controversial decision by the country not to introduce a lockdown at the start of the pandemic. Sweden's decision to pursue a herd immunity strategy and allow the virus to partially spread through its population previously saw its infection rate rise far above the countries where lockdowns were introduced. In place of a lockdown, Swedes have been encouraged to follow social distancing and hygiene guidelines, with bars and restaurants and shops allowed to remain open throughout. So I think that herd immunity approach, I think that's kind of worked for Sweden. So they didn't have a lockdown at all. Last few countries we're going to visit. So we're going to visit France. France has become Europe's new coronavirus hotspot once again, as it's recorded its highest ever number of daily cases. The country's counted a new high of nearly 9,000 yesterday, almost double that of Europe's second worst daily rate in Spain. 9,000 in one day. That's
a lot.
High.
Crazy, isn't it? So Health Minister Oliver Véran warned France must remain vigilant, as medics expect intense care beds will be still filling up again within the next 15 days. France's daily coronavirus case count yesterday at 8,975 exceeded its previous high of 7,000 from the peak of the pandemic on March the 31st. At the time, France was in one of Europe's strictest lockdowns, so the current surge will be a major worry to the authorities.
Yeah, one question I've got is why so high in France? Why France?
I think this is my version of it. Maybe it's not true, but all the immigrants are in France, aren't they? They're coming from all the other countries, trying to jump ship and get into the UK. Maybe they're bringing something over with them, maybe.
Yeah,
No?
I think that could be a factor. I think you're right, because a lot of the passes through who are looking to get into the UK or get about in Europe do tend to go via France, especially from North Africa as well.
Yeah.
So
I think that, that's I don't think that would cause the the rate to go to 9,000 per day. I think
it takes seconds, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you
it
you
does.
just got to
Yeah.
rub yourself against somebody, just a quick sneeze.
really.
You know?
We'll let you comment on that one, Gal.
Okay, so I'm going to move swiftly on from rubbing against French people, Cal. Moving across into the USA.
Blame me on the cheese. Eh?
Okay. So something that you might be interested in, but a bonkers US company can 3D print a house and stick it in your backyard for just 75 grand. How does that sound, Cal?
It sounds expensive to me for 75 grand. I can't afford that.
Well, think of how much house prices are these days. So, an amazing 3D printed homes with stunning interiors take 24 hours to build and only cost 75 grand. So, Mighty Buildings uses a 20-foot high printer stored in California warehouse to make you a small cottage and ships it to your property on a truck. The building is put together by dripping tiny beads of synthetic stone on top of one another, following a pattern laid out on a blueprint diagram. It sits at a vacant spot on your property for use as an office space, a guest house, guest cottage, or whatever else you can dream of. So yeah, 3D printed buildings are
The future.
are going to be the future.
Future,
Yeah.
yeah.
And 24 hours to build. How about that?
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is,
I
yeah.
wish I knew now because I'm just having some work done. If I knew before, maybe I would have gone for it. I would have bartered, obviously.
Well, yeah, you might be able to still do that. So, so there's your quick whistle stop around the world with some key stories which I found interesting. Over to you, Manny.
Fantastic. So on that note, there's another story from Egypt here. So going over to Egypt. So let's go slightly south.
Okay.
So after 3,300 years, King Tutankhamun,
Yeah.
coffin leaves his tomb for the first time ever.
Oh wow.
And the statement that I've got in front of me here reads, "The coffin is in a very bad condition, very deteriorated. We found many cracks, we found many missing parts, missing layers." Okay. So in effect, he has to be restored and replenished and what have you. So that's from Egypt. But isn't it fascinating? After 3,300 years, imagine that.
That was fascinating. What I also thought was fascinating is how Egypt is south of the US.
I think we started from Europe or France. I was going from the.
Did. Oh, right.
I was going from the European con. So
Right.
Shabazz, let's continue that one offline because I'd rather not do that on the
Anyway,
show. Thank you, Baz.
Let's stop this bickering over those small things. We got messages coming in. Come on, let's talk about our listeners. Salam everyone. Me, Mom and Kala are listening and watching on YouTube. Please send us a wave. So look at the cameras up there. Give them a wave.
Who's that from, Cal?
I think it's Sima. She goes, the answer to your question is, yeah, I think she's got it right.
So,
So
we won't say if it's right or wrong, but you can.
She's saying Jibrail, Mikhail, and Israel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to say if that's right or wrong.
Yeah.
We've had another message from a top guy called Sagir. Do you want to read that message out as well, Khalid? If you've got it there?
Put me on the spot, I would, yes. He says, yes, message to, especially to Shabs and Manny.
Yeah.
This is a bit personal, here, Shabs and Manny.
yeah.
Thank you, Sagir. Very kind of you.
Great show and love the topics, especially around the work from home and children returning to school. Can I please ask your views on Brexit negotiations, deadlock? And that's from Sagir.
So, Sagir, thanks for listening in. I really appreciate that. Manny?
Brexit.
So I think the first thing I'd say is Brexit, who. I think COVID's taken over everything. I would suspect in terms of Brexit negotiations and the time frame, it may even be revisited because I think the priority for Europe, UK and the world at the moment is COVID. So I would say watch this space on that, Sagir. That would be my overarching thought. And thank you for listening in, Sagir, and that question and your time.
And Kala Salima, that's your mom.
Assalamu alaikum, Mom.
Mom and Amina are listening, not Saima, sorry.
Assalamu
They all
alaikum.
look the same to me.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, they're all watching on YouTube this morning. Also had another one. Khalid, let's not blame the immigrants, please. That's from your friend again, Sagir.
Is that from Sagir? Right, okay.
Sagir, well observed, and I think it was Shabazz who went down that line, so he's well.
No, it was me.
No, it was Khalid,
It was
sorry.
me.
Khalid.
Hands up, hands up.
So just on this whole Brexit negotiation thing, I just don't think we've got the right people in charge at the top. I think there's a lot of different agendas. I think people are focusing on what it means to them. But I think we could really struggle after this pandemic with regards to that we haven't really signed anything off with the European government
No,
with
no,
regards to trade or anything like that. So
yeah, I think the official kind of exit date or kind of tentative exit date was from December this year. It kind of becomes real, but I would say, how can that become real when we got everything else going on around
I
it?
mean, my biggest worry, being a British citizen, is everything's going to become more expensive. Going abroad's going to become more expensive. I just don't want the pound to start to become weaker, a weaker economy than the euro, for instance. So these are all the things that worry me on a personal level. And of course, more expensive holidays. We don't want
That's
that.
the
Of
most
course,
important
of
thing,
course.
especially when you have to convert your currency.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
normally if you go to Pakistan, it's £1 worth 300 rupees. Is it?
About
Around that
200.
mark,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Sooner or later, the £1 is going to be worth nothing, and then you're going to say, "I'd rather stay at home because it's at least I'm getting a bottle of Coca-Cola here for £1."
Yeah,
More stories from around the world. Do you know Nadia Hussein?
we do.
Nadia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Master Chef was it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
She's just revealed was really affected by the racial abuse she faced when she used apple instead of swede in a Cornish pasty recipe. So former Bake Off winner 35 told how she was really affected by the online hate. It came after she replaced traditional swede with apple in a Cornish pasty recipe. The recipe was featured in a 2017 BBC show, Nadia's British Food Adventure. The former Bake Off winner 35 revealed that she has experienced more racism in the last 5 years than her entire life. Is that because she's in the public demand?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people are probably jealous of how she's shot to fame. But I really like her. I think I loved watching her on MasterChef. I thought she was a deserved winner. But racism's, it's prevalent in our society. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to go away. I'm hoping that the future generations will be educated enough to slowly start to eradicate this. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I think a lot of it is about education and that understanding of different cultures.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's key.
Say if I said to you, I've got a battery, your phone battery. You only got to charge it once for your life. Would you buy it?
That sounds
Yes.
Yeah.
sounds interesting. Yeah.
A battery encased in diamonds uses nuclear waste to power devices for thousands of years on a single charge.
Fantastic.
A new nano diamond battery made from nuclear waste could keep a full charge for over 5,000 years. So this is going to go way beyond us. The battery power comes from a radioactive isotopes. I think I've said that right. My wife will go mad if I haven't. Used in nuclear reactors. Because it's encased within diamond, the hardest known substance, it emits less radiation than the human body. Imagine a cell phone that never needs to be recharged, or a car battery that lasted long enough for your grandchildren to use. The claims come from a California-based startup that says it's cleared significant hurdles in its goal to develop a battery that could last up to 28,000 years without ever needing a charge. The nano diamond battery from NDB is powered by nuclear waste, but its radioactive core is protected by multiple layers of synthetic diamonds, one of the strongest materials on Earth.
Yeah, I think startups would say most things to kind of get funding. So I'm very skeptical
I'm
on
very
that.
dubious about them.
I'd be happy if it lasted 2 days. My battery.
I think walking around with a nuclear device in my pocket just doesn't resonate well with me personally. Or driving around with a nuclear battery in your car doesn't really sound.
It's all up there, isn't
I'll
it?
tell you what might be more realistic. So Land Rover are to release a mobile handset, given we're talking about handsets. So Land Rover has created a rugged and adventure-ready smartphone. The company's new rugged waterproof phone can survive a 6-foot drop onto steel, but looks just like an iPhone 4. So it'll cost you £399. It's called the Land Rover Explorer R. It's water resistant, drop resistant, and comes with special apps for outdoors-minded people. It looks a bit like a years old but very popular iPhone 4, which you'll either love or hate. And it's supposedly inspired by the new Land Rover Defender They were not entirely sure how. Parts of the comparison is likely down to the telephone's ruggedness, and the handset has an IP68 rating, which means it has survived being submerged in 1.5 meters of water for over 30 minutes. So
Sounds like something James Bond would have, doesn't it?
well, for £399, Manny, you can have one too.
I can have one too, yeah, definitely.
Land Rover Explorer R.
Oh, well. Talk about cars. Have you seen the new S-Class that was revealed this week?
I have seen the new S-Class, yes.
What do you think? I thought it was amazing.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Panache.
It is panache, yeah, but I just find the car prices are just going higher and higher and higher. So people like yourself and Manny who can afford these cars, it's it's easy for you, but
It's funny how he says that, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say our station manager, Alvina, she's the one who could afford
Right.
everything. But yeah, Shiraz, I thought it was stunning.
So
Is
you
it?
get
I've not seen it, but is it?
It's a different level.
So you're getting one?
No, can't afford it. Not yet.
Not yet.
I need a rise from Ramadan Radio Wolves.
Okay. When you get one, can you let us know as well?
Somebody who might have one is Shamus Pervez. Do you know him?
Oh yes, he's my brother.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, has he got one?
Sound like a
You might
Shamus?
get one.
He's bought a new vehicle, but
Has
it's not that.
He said salam to all, mashallah, great show and great discussions. Keep it up, lads. Especially to my big brother Manny. Mashallah, very well spoken. How much you pay him?
I paid him a fair bit, but I won't declare it on radio, Cal.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him with long life. Keep it up. That's
Amen.
Shamus Pervez.
Jazakallah Shamus.
And I just want to go slightly back to the topic that we were discussing around races. I think this is a story from around the world. I think you guys will find this interesting. University professor of African studies admits that she is white. After lying about being black for years, Jessica Krug taught both African and Latin American studies, all while claiming to be black and Caribbean herself.
So how did she get away with that?
Michael
Quite.
Jackson.
How bizarre. Why would you do that? Be yourself. Even if you want to teach African studies or anything similar, say you can still be an expert in a specific topic without being from that region or area.
Did you say she was in South Africa?
He says, it doesn't quite say, but he says University Professor of African Studies.
Right, okay. 'Cause
So
maybe it's down to opportunity of being able to get a job. So I know in South Africa there's still a massive divide between white people and black people and who can get jobs and who can't get jobs. At the moment, I've got a friend of mine who's white. He's from South Africa, and he's very much under the proviso that only the black people are getting jobs now in South Africa.
it's almost that reverse discrimination since
Absolutely, yeah.
apartheid, and either way, that's wrong.
Well, since the apartheid, that's exactly what he's saying, that since that's happened, only blacks are now getting opportunities to get back at us white. So maybe something to do with that. But I want to know how she got away with that. I mean, how can you disguise being white when you're trying to be black? I don't
Well, I suppose it depends on how they end up saying, well, whether you're white, prove that through your identity or your heritage or the color of your skin. It's quite a grey area. And I suppose it depends on how do you evidence that.
Yeah. Well, if someone looks white, they look white, don't they?
Station manager Alvina Ali, she's texting, work hard, play hard, dear brothers. Work towards your goals and Alhamdulillah, God will shower you with more. So
Amen.
wise words from the master.
Thank you, Alvina. Very kind of you.
Talking about setting it high. This is the latest craze, and Shabazz, this is especially for you.
Go on.
Meet the new jet set. Once for the rich and famous, the coronavirus pandemic has led to a dramatic rise in ordinary British holidaymakers escaping to the sun on private planes with lavish cuisine. No queues, delays, or the horror of being seated next to a ghastly stranger. Small wonder that flying privately has long been the preferred way for film stars and the filthy rich to travel. But this summer, demand for private jet has also soared amongst ordinary people, still relatively well off, passengers seeking to avoid crowds, planes and airports during the pandemic. So what's happening is these flights from here to another country, they're booked by, say, the super rich. So they need to be picked up at a certain time and brought back at a certain time. So what this company is doing is, say if you wanted to go to France, on the way to pick up this client, they'll drop you off in France, take off, go and get their client and come back.
Okay.
And on the way back, there might be somewhere they've already dropped someone off and they're coming back to the UK, so they land back to France, pick you up, and bring you back. So the timing isn't under your control, but the prices you're talking about 14 to 15,000 pounds for a whole airplane to yourself and your family, taking you whichever country you want and back.
See, that's great value for money. If I can get 50 of us on the plane, I think that would be.
I'd say private jet. It wouldn't be a big one, but about 10, 15 people.
Just 50. You reckon it'd be
Maybe
more?
for like a special occasion for the wife. Maybe in the future. You never know.
Tell you what, we could learn from this, Cal. Special occasion from. I tell you what, Shabazz.
Well, I tell you what I did do. I did treat my mum for Mother's Day this year to a business class seat on Emirates to Pakistan, which she thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh yes, you told me about that. Yeah.
So that was fantastic. Seeing how the other half live. But I tell you what, one thing that really surprised me was when we landed in Pakistan, all the business class passengers and us, we got off the plane, no hassle whatsoever.
Straight walk through.
Walk straight through. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Straight through. The bags were waiting for you. No issues whatsoever. And then you could see cattle class, as I call it, behind where I usually am. And they were getting the hassle from the from the coolies and from the passport control. And so yeah, it was
money talks.
Money talks. Yeah. It's
On that note, guys, I've got a text from a friend who's quite shy and reserved.
Make him famous.
He's at the gym at the moment, and he said, "I disagree with your Brexit point." He thinks the government's going to push it as a mechanism of normality, i.e. things are going to get back to normal. So Naz Chima from Dewsbury, the legend himself, has texted me that it's too shy. Naz, you are going to phone in one day. I am going to make sure of that. Do not worry about that. But anyway, I've got his name across. I'm sure he'll be chuckling to himself at the gym now.
Yeah.
But Naz,
he's probably doing bench pressing and he's thinking, oh.
Naz, thank you for that contribution, brother.
Thank you so
very
much.
kind of you.
Do you know who Diljit Dosanjh is?
I do, yes.
we
He
do.
just during lockdown he brought an album out with around about 13 songs. Absolutely fantastic. Well, he's to play a pregnant man in a rom-com.
Okay.
Yeah, actor and singer Diljit Dosanjh is reportedly set to star in a new rom-com. However, he's rumoured to play a pregnant man in the film, so this is something different.
Is this a remake of that old Arnold Schwarzenegger film called Junior from many years ago?
If knowing the Asians, it probably is. Despite the roles being finalised, a source has claimed that the film has encountered obstacles, blaming Diljit because he's in San Francisco and he's not been responding to frantic calls from the makers and the production team. The source went on to claim that Diljit Dosanjh is now having second thoughts about the film.
Yeah.
It seems he has developed cold feet about the project. The movie revolves around male pregnancy, which is obviously a big talking subject.
It's a fine line, isn't it, whether you want to put your name against
So he's
something like
facing backlash from religious bodies back home in Punjab, and this is why he's become unapproachable. So would you want to watch a man giving birth?
Well, I never watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. I think it's just really bizarre, isn't it, to be fair?
But you know what? I think they're running out of subjects, especially in Bollywood.
But there's plenty of rip-offs they can do. There's loads of good. Do True Lies or Predator or a different Arnie film as opposed to
true,
Junior.
definitely.
But no, Diljit Dosanjh, I think he's. I mean, I'm not a massive Punjabi music fan, as you know, Cal. I do like, but he's one of the guys that sticks out as his music's really
I went to see him. I think it was last year, or the year before.
But
Fantastic.
Punjabi music, I think Gurdas has to be the top.
Well, if we're talking about Gurdas, we've got one of his best friends sat here with us.
Yes.
Oh, Cal, yes.
Yes, I'm.
Do you want to give us a very brief overview, Cal?
He's the main man in
And
Punjab.
are you quite close to him?
Very close to him. I hang around with him when he does come into the UK. I chauffeur him around.
There you go. Well,
I'm his private bodyguard when he's
Next
around.
time he's here, Cal, you know those VIP tickets where they're going to?
To the poor. The headset that could trick you into losing weight. Electrical device that stimulates nerve endings behind the ears could be pioneering new weight loss treatment. So an electrical device that stimulates nerve endings behind the ears could be pioneered new treatment for those who struggle to lose weight. The device worn as a headset sends signals to the vestibular nerves, which are linked to the part of the brain that controls fat storage and hunger. The idea is that this will help people feel fuller, with less food intake. Some 200 people are taking part in clinical trials of the headset. So, you're going to buy one, Manny?
Yes, I think I will. Yeah.
They look at Shabazz because
You beat me to the punchline, Cal.
he's a small guy, isn't
Listen, my body's a temple. Yeah.
A temple of what is the question?
Temple of doom. Temple of
Cal,
doom.
can you stop beating me to the punchline? I was gonna say, where do I sign up for it?
he? It's technology nowadays.
It is
Hey,
tech- yeah, absolutely. Carry on. mate.
Sorry, on that similar theme around, mental kind of stimulation or what have you, and mentality. Here's a story for you. People refusing to wear face masks are likely to be sociopaths, says study. A study conducted by researchers in Brazil found that people who flout coronavirus measures exhibit higher levels of callousness, deceitfulness, and risk-taking, which is likened to traits of sociopaths. So, Cal, do you wear a face mask?
I've got one on me. Look,
There you go.
here you are.
So
You're looking at a Wolves one.
we can commission you as
Psychopath.
not a sociopath.
Okay.
Shabazz, do you wear one?
I wear one when I have to.
Mid-sociopath, then let's go with that.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, Manny. I'm going to be controversial and say that.
Please do.
What happens if you forget your face mask?
But then, yeah,
You know.
that's a valid point.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and for me, the only reason why I don't like wearing them is because my glasses keep steaming up.
Anyway, we
Agreed.
could talk about wearing space masks forever. We're going to go for a little break. We'll be back in around about 4 minutes' time. Don't forget, our competition is still open. Give us a call, 01 902 972 150. Welcome back to the third and final part of Stories of the Week. Today is September the 6th, 2020. It is the 250th day of the year, with 160 days remaining. This day in history, 1666, the Great Fire of London, it finally got extinguished. In 1716, the first lighthouse built in North America, Boston. And in 1913, the first aircraft to do the loop-the-loop was in France. In 1886, Queen Victoria establishes a Distinguished Service Order. And in 1939, in South Africa, declared war on the Nazi Germans. In 1957, Elvis records White Christmas, Silent Night, and Here Comes Santa Claus. In the year 1965, this day in history, India invades West Pakistan, beginning the Indo-Pakistani War. And in 1970, Palestinians seize 3 airliners. And 1994, actor Jackson Pickney awarded $487,000 for being partially blinded by Jean-Claude Van Damme during filming of Cyborg. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
I do.
Wow.
Birthdays this week, if you're celebrating, in 1889, Sarath Chandra Bose, Indian activist for independence, born in Hawara, British India. In 1910, Frank Fiddler, English artist, born in London. 1917 was born George Mann, English cricketer, born in Byfleet, Surrey. And in 1947, Bruce Rioch, Scottish footballer and coach, born in Aldershot, England. Mohammed Kadir, 1953, Ethiopian 10K runner. He got the bronze in the 1980 Olympics. He was born in Ethiopia. And in 1963, Pat Nevin, Scottish footballer, played for Chelsea and Everton, born in Glasgow, Scotland. Idris Elba, he was born this day in history, 1972, English actor, starring The Wire, Luther, born in London. Tim Henman is celebrating today. He was born in 1974. He's a tennis player. Rakesh Roshan, Shabaz's best friend, born 1949.
I actually had a friend in school called Rakesh.
Yeah, well, he was born 1949. He's an Indian director and an actor. Harry Sandhu Singh, actor, born in 1986. That is all your birthdays this day in history.
Fantastic,
Fantastic.
Khalid. Can I make you go back to the article slightly, just towards the beginning? So you said this was the 250th day of the year.
Yep,
So how many days are left?
116. It's one of them years. It's an extra day this year.
Right, okay. Ah, so you
Yes.
caught me out. You caught me out.
Also, just in the news this week, Paul Pogba, Adama Traore, Neymar, Dwayne Johnson, what they all got in common this week.
They've all got COVID-19.
They've all caught COVID-19.
No, I didn't know
Dwayne Johnson's
Dwayne-
got it. The Rock. If The Rock can catch it, who is safe is my
Exactly,
question.
The Rock and his daughters, Jasmine and Tiana.
that. Well, we wish these...
But we think
People,
Adama
best to help.
Traore's had a second chest and he's got out of it. But the rest of them still, big stars.
Thank you
just,
for that.
Just shows that doesn't matter who you are.
Absolutely.
This disease is there for everybody.
Because Dwayne Johnson is, he looks after himself immensely. And Paul Pogba, obviously,
Yeah.
super athletes.
And also, did you know it's been 23 years today that Princess Diana passed away? Where's the time
Wow.
gone?
23 years.
23 years today.
Today.
I remember waking up to that story,
Terrible
and
news.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
No, it's a shock.
Amazing. The most expensive country in the world to buy cigarettes, where do you think? The most expensive country in the world to buy a pack of fags.
So the cheapest place to buy fags
Mhm.
is Dubai, I would say,
Yeah.
in my opinion. The most expensive, I'd probably say something like Singapore or something like that, maybe.
The cost a pack costs £19 for one pack of
Oh.
20.
It's going to be somewhere like Finland, isn't it? I think.
I think it's either going to be the Scandinavian countries
Yeah.
or Far East somewhere.
Australia.
Is it?
The
Really?
price of cigarettes and tobacco products will rise by 12.5% from today. It is the second time this year that Australia's tobacco excise tax has increased. Pack-a-day smokers will now be shelving out nearly £7,000 per year to spark up.
Wow.
So,
Wow. They should just outlaw cigarettes altogether, in my
Did
opinion.
you also good fact here? Australia's black market tobacco trade is now worth over £300 million a year.
No doubt, no doubt. Just as you've mentioned Australia, So, what do you think is the? In fact, let me ask you, Manny, as well, and you, Khalid. What would you say is the most appealing accent in the world?
Most appealing.
Yeah. So there's
Sorry, I just want to quantify that question before we go on,
absolutely
Shabazz.
go for it.
What do you mean by appealing?
Okay, which accent do you like the most? So they basically surveyed 100 men and 100 women, or sorry, 1,000 men and 1,000 women to ask them what is your favourite.
Is this in
accent?
the world or just UK?
This is in the world. Yeah.
The
So
world.
Give me the top. So they've given the top 2 for women and the top 2 for men. So what
I
would you
think the British will be up there. The
okay,
English
the
accent.
British, English.
I think an accent which I just like. I think it's quite smooth accent. The Irish accent.
Irish, okay.
Not it just comes across as quite nice. Not too extreme, but it's just right.
Okay. So for men, Spain's accent was the most appealing. So the
Spanish
accent, it was 88%. But for women, the Scottish accent was the most appealing across the world.
Not that I want to we, just we.
Isn't that French?
That you mean wee man, don't you?
We man, yeah.
Wee man.
Yeah, we.
You're going into the Indian subcontinent now, Carl.
Aye.
So in second place for women was what you've just mentioned, Australia. So that was second. And for men, it was Brazilian Portuguese. So
Really?
So men have got a fascination for Spanish and Portuguese accents. But
Naz has just been on the airwaves as well. He's texting me vociferously here.
Go on.
He's saying, LOL, listen to Conor McGregor. I think he means, why am I Irish kind of accent.
Right.
Thank you for that, Naz. And you do need to phone in.
Okay. Can I give you my favourite accent in the world?
Of course you can.
I think you can't beat the French accent, can you?
Au revoir. Bonjour, Michaud.
That's it, yeah.
Ça va?
Ça va.
Ça va plaît.
Ça va bien, Khalid.
Moving swiftly on, so there you go. Top accents in the world. We've got Scottish coming out for women and Spanish coming out for men.
A story coming from Thailand. A tourist grabs a tiger's private parts as she poses for a photo at a Thai zoo and is criticised for humiliating the animal.
Brave woman.
I'm going to pronounce her name. Warashachacha Akra Shakara Pass. I could have said anything there, couldn't I? Was accused of humiliating the tiger when she cupped its private parts whilst visiting the Tiger Kingdom Zoo in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Bit of a brave woman, don't
I
you
know.
think?
The Thai zoos are faced criticism for sedating tigers so tourists can pose with them. Social media users said the act was not only generous but also offensive. Now, I've been to Thailand and I've had a photo next to a tiger. And I tell you what, I absolutely beep myself.
I bet.
But, like the story says, they are so sedated. You could do whatever you want with the
It's
tiger.
quite sad though, isn't it?
It is sad news. Because normally you wouldn't even go near the tiger.
Yeah.
But this one, amazing.
On another note, I've got my friend Isar
Hello.
listening in. He's saying, guys, you're doing a great job. Proud of you guys. Isar Ahmed of Apex Accounting in Birmingham.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, walaikum salam. My name's Subtain. I'm just calling to say well done to all of you for
Thank you.
the show that you're running, and this is especially for Manny. He's we were just messaging each other, and I thought I'll interrupt this story about the tiger because it's quite disturbing.
It is a disturbing story coming out. So where are you speaking from today?
From Birmingham, from Handsworth.
From Birmingham, Handsworth. And I heard overnight Birmingham had loads of problems, a few stabbings in the city centre.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But Subtain, I'm sure I'll introduce you. Subtain, what's the word I'd use for the charitable work that Subtain is leading on as part of a charity called Ma Foundation? So recently, when I went up to Scaffold Pike, that's part of the Ma Foundation, and he's leading that in extraordinary work. Extraordinary. Subtain, I'll let you comment on it.
I don't know. I don't want to, sound like I'm leading it. And I've always said this. One person can do very little. It's always a combination, and a team of people that drive a movement. Well, Ma Foundation is it's inspired by my mother's journey. She faced cancer last year, and unfortunately she lost her battle to cancer in January. And as at the back of that, we me and my siblings set up Ma Foundation. It's a registered charity in the UK that supports cancer patients in the third world. Our first location is Azad Kashmir, where she was born. And, at the moment, alhamdulillah, we're supporting cancer patients. We've got 15 cancer patients that are registered with us that we support their diagnosis, their treatment.
So then, if people obviously, I mean, this is a fantastic cause. Clearly, that and really sorry to hear about your mother. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How do people get in touch, or how do people contribute to this charity? So, if people want to get involved, is there a number they can dial, or is there a website we can visit?
So there is we're currently on Facebook. Our website's being built at the moment. So we have got a sort of a domain. It's not sort of it's not fully active. On Facebook, on Instagram, Bar Foundation UK.
Yeah, I think Instagram's quite active, isn't it? It's up there.
Yeah, we post quite regularly. But anyone and cancer's becoming such a prevalent thing in society, and it's just great to raise awareness about it. In particular in those countries where resources are minimal. We're trying to reach out to those people that have got very little finances to fund their treatments and stuff like that, because we're blessed. I know we talk about what's happening on a national scale in terms of the virus and stuff like that, but on the flip side of it, we've tested the mettle of NHS, and we personally, when my mum was facing cancer and her treatment, we got world class sort of service from the NHS, and unfortunately people in the third world don't get that that privilege.
So yeah, absolutely. I think you're right, Subtan. And your humility in terms of Subtan saying he doesn't want to, socialize or say he's leading it, but I think the whole team's doing a great job, and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Well, you're part of the team. You've helped to set up the first ambulance service for cancer patients, and so it's
very, very kind of you, and keep up the great work. And where we can socialize and share, and even if you want to share the Instagram kind of links, we can try and socialize that, and the Facebook
and
links.
Thanks for phoning in as well. Thanks for getting in touch.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and hope you
no
have a
problem. All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Take care.
I love it. Take care.
Happy Pakistan Defence Day today. For those who don't know, it's celebrated on the memory of martyred people who gave sacrifices for their life for the defence of the country. Pakistan-India War II was fought in 1965. So happy Pakistan Defence Day.
Absolutely.
Okay. More stories coming in. We've got around about 10 minutes left, Shabazz.
So you going abroad, Khalid, this year? Or?
Not this year. With the virus, we've decided to spend our money on
yourself.
On myself,
on
yes.
Yourself, you are looking very well, I have to say.
Well, thank you very much.
So thousands of Brits, Brits are getting confused with all these guidelines, but thousands of Brits may be ignoring confusing quarantine rules after coming back from their summer holidays abroad. The Met Police have received more than 1,000 tips to carry out quarantine checks to make sure holidaymakers are sticking to their 2-week isolation. Quarantine rules requiring Brits to isolate for 14 days have come increasingly under fire, as they have been devastating for industries reliant on travel and tourism. The frustration comes as both Scotland and Wales went rogue and imposed their own quarantine rules independently from the UK government. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps even confessed the system was confusing for travellers and accused the two devolved administrations of jumping the gun. He also suggested a potential 2-step testing system to reduce quarantine down to 7 or 8 days, but said this was not a silver bullet. So this is one of the things that's putting me off, because I love going on holiday with the family, and this 14-day quarantine, I think it's just putting a lot of people off, isn't it?
It does. It's put me off. This day last year, I was in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So every September,
you do a holiday every year.
Every year, I do 2 weeks somewhere exotic. I try to anyway.
In your S-Class Mercedes?
No, not my S-Class. Come down a few classes.
With a Gurdas man sat next to you. Yeah.
I have been on a plane with Gurdas man.
I'm just painting a picture for the listeners, Cal.
We're not lying, but I'm not like that, but I'm much more of a simple person.
Yeah, of course. So you were saying you do a holiday every year?
Every year, but this year, obviously, because of the virus, we decided to stay at home, stay safe. And like I think most people should be doing, because you never know which country you're going to go to.
Absolutely.
By the time you come back, it could be changed. It could have been to a 14-day lockdown. Sister Naseem's just texting. Salams, I don't wear a face mask, but I wear a hidden condition lanyard. And she sent me a picture of this hidden condition lanyard. I've overheard negative conversations by others on the bus and whilst shopping. It makes me so angry that they can be so ignorant to understand people's needs. So obviously people with conditions can't wear masks.
Right, yeah.
They've
Yes,
got
yes.
asthma, any other conditions. So they have a lanyard saying, I have a condition,
Yeah.
hence I cannot wear a mask. But people still do not care.
No.
I think that's the thing. One of the things around society is, one, they don't. Has anybody even read that lanyard and tried to absorb it? And two, we just love jumping to a judgment.
Yeah.
We just love it. I mean, it's just as part of the human condition. We just judge.
Well, let me ask you a question and get your honest thoughts on this.
Absolutely.
If you've already had, what's the reason for wearing a face mask? The reason for wearing a face mask isn't to stop you getting it. It's to stop you passing your germs on to other people who could potentially get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you've already had COVID-19
Yeah.
and you've now recovered,
Yeah.
should you be exempt from wearing a face mask?
You could still get COVID-19 again.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing,
Can you?
Shabazz.
Yes.
The studies around whether you could still get COVID-19 again are inconclusive. So
Right.
they're keeping extra cautious and extra safe to say actually everybody wear a mask.
Okay.
Better be safe than sorry.
It's just the glass is steaming up. I just you know.
I share that problem as well, Shabazz. So I do know how you feel.
I even bought one of those with that, little.
It makes no difference.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. It's got one of those plastic things to let air in and out, but yeah, waste of time.
No, if you let air in, it defeats
Yeah.
the
Defeats the object.
Filtered air. but still
Anyway,
filtered.
Yes, of course.
We're not longer got left. After our show, we've got the one and only Ajaz Saab, who's going to be doing the legal show.
He'll be giving us some great legal advice, so we look forward to that. On a story of travel, I'm going very far now. The moon,
Mhm.
the moon.
Yeah.
Our moon is getting rusty, and experts say it's all our fault.
Yes.
A new study detected the presence of rust on both poles of the moon's surface, a phenomenon that should be unlikely given the moon's lack of atmosphere. Scientists say that the moon is rusting and it could be caused by the Earth's electromagnetic field. So what do we do about it, and what impact does it have are my questions.
I don't think I could personally do much about the moon being
No.
rusty.
But Cal, that saying about every little makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
Just talking about the moon. If you've got a new Samsung or a new iPhone, they're saying the cameras are that good. If you actually go outside on a clear night and you zoom into the moon, apparently you can get like a really, really close-up image of
Really?
the craters and everything. So just technology, isn't it? But there you go.
So the competition today, it was, can you name 3 angels from the Quran?
Can you?
I could, yeah, I can.
Manny, can you?
So
Yes,
if we mention one each, so I'll go first. Jibrail.
Okay. I'd say that's okay. I'd say the angel of death, Mikhail, I believe.
Manny.
Yeah, there's the angel Michael, which you mentioned. There's also Israel, the angel of death, as well.
There you are. So I think there's 8 of them mentioned in the Quran.
Okay.
We had Amina, who texting, and
Is that my wife, Amna?
no, it's not your
Oh,
wife,
right,
Amina.
okay.
There's a lot more Aminas out there,
I
you know.
I know.
It just shows the commitment and the love.
I just wanted to take a prize home for her, that's all.
And, well, the prize is going to be delivered by Sister Naseem. So
Okay.
I haven't received it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be delivered. We've got a few more weeks to play with this prize.
Okay.
So yeah, she has been put into the draw with Asma, who got in touch last week. So they're both in the draw. A few more minutes left. What are you guys doing this afternoon?
This afternoon, after I finished here, I'm rushing off to a taekwondo lesson with the great John McNally, myself and the kids.
How do you social distance in Taekwondo?
I think we kind of operate in or work out in bubbles, so it's each family who goes, so that's the kind of strategy that we deploy, and it seems to be working well. But I think even with schools and what have you, we may be back in training within schools, because we use some of the gym halls to do it, so that's been the approach. It's worked well so far, and apart from that, I think just relaxing and catching up on a bit of paperwork.
We do have a final call coming
Okay,
in.
fantastic.
If we could be quick.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
What's
salam.
wrong?
Who's this? Is that
Hello?
Ari's?
Sounds like ours.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Ariz.
Ari's,
Ari's,
you just
Assalamu
squeezed.
alaikum.
You just squeezed in. We got 3 minutes left. How
Yeah,
did you
no,
win your
so I
football
called
match?
in before the show finishes.
Did
yeah,
you
I
win?
just came back.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won 5-2.
5-2. Did you
Nice.
score?
No, I didn't score because I played left back.
Okay, that's a good. You know, I started off playing left back and ended up as striker. You know.
I did assist too though.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good. That's good.
for you.
Aris, we're missing you on the show. Obviously, you will fill in the
Yeah.
gaps when you can.
Inshallah.
I know,
Yeah,
obviously,
I will.
loads of people calling in asking for where you was.
Yeah.
Ours has been, the
Yeah,
response has been
I've
outstanding.
listened back for like the last 10 minutes, and you guests been really good.
Yeah, very
Excellent.
good, very good.
Ariz, really quickly from me, how was your holiday in Bournemouth? Did you have a good time?
It was good, thanks. I did have a good time.
And would you recommend it to all our listeners?
Pardon?
Would you recommend it to all the listeners? Bournemouth?
Yeah, I recommend
Good.
it. So it's good. Bournemouth
Excellent.
is.
Aris, go home, have a shower, relax, and chill
Yeah, I
out.
will.
Yeah, thank you for calling in.
All right, thank you. I
Assalamu
love
alaikum,
you.
Ariz.
Good afternoon.
So,
Bye.
There you are, dedication. That is absolute. See,
You're
Shabazz,
putting me to shame.
it is dedicated. I mean, ours phoned in. I phoned in last week. Who hasn't phoned in today, Cal?
he's had so many days off. He still doesn't phone in.
I mean,
You
I
know-
think we'll.
I think okay. The honest answer is, I can't take the limelight every week. Come on, I can't be the star of the show every week. So you got to give other people a chance. So.
I've got to say hello to Jalandhar Paul, who listens in every week.
Hi,
And on
Jalandhar.
Hi,
Facebook,
Jalandhar.
he always puts a little message on. And because I don't have access to Facebook, I go home and re-watch the show, and I see Jalandhar Paul. So Jalandhar Paul, if you're listening, thank you for your commitment to listening to Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Thank you.
we shall be back minus Shabazz next week. Is that
Yeah,
right, Shabazz?
that's right.
You're off on holidays again?
Again, yeah, off to Chester Zoo with the family, so enjoying that. But I'll be back the week after. For
So,
sure.
Look forward to-
Manny on board next week?
Should be. I will confirm to you later in the week, but I think I'm 80% confirmed.
90%?
Yeah, well,
It's either that or I'm cancelling the show for next
you
week.
let me win that the quiz, and we'll get that confirmed.
Family members aren't allowed to enter. Anyway, so it's goodbye from ourselves. Ajaz Sahib is next on Radio Ramadan Walls. We've got loads of more shows lined up this afternoon and this evening. Once again, if you like the show, tell others. If you don't, tell us, and we shall obviously sort something out. And we just had a message. Too late for me to say. I don't know who it is. Program's really good. Thank you very much, whoever texted in. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Allah
Cheers,
Hafiz.
guys. Bye. Allah
Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.